Hey guys, we are beginning Unit 7 today, and this unit is all about volume and surface area. I think that you'll find that this unit is a little bit easier because it's primarily formulas that you will have. You don't have to memorize them or anything, so all you have to do is apply the formulas. You will notice that this unit is going to start out with doing quite a bit of notes. We're going to get the notes knocked out pretty early because each lesson pretty much is a different shape. And we won't really start doing a lot of just practice and different activities and assignments until you've learned all of the formulas. So we will have several notes at the beginning, but then we'll have several days of other types of activities with them. But starting out, you're going to learn to classify these 3D figures. And the first one is a prism. A prism is a solid with two bases that are congruent and parallel. Sometimes these prisms can be difficult to pick out their bases because if they're laying on their side, you tend to always think that bases have to be top and bottom, but that's not always the case. You're looking for two sides that are exactly the same and they are parallel. And so in this case, we have two triangles here and here. Those would be your bases. And it did happen that they are the top and the bottom, but if I tipped over this prism, those would still be the bases. Your bases don't change based on how the prism is laying. Then we have a pyramid. This one just has one base and everything else goes up to a point. That's what makes it a pyramid. A cylinder is basically a prism except the bases are circles. So the formulas are different. Same thing, a cone. It's a pyramid basically, but the base is a circle. And then a sphere, that's just basically a ball. So some parts of a 3D figure. The first one is a face. A face is any flat side of a 3D figure. That may be the base, but it could be any of the sides. So for example, this right here that I'm coloring in so beautifully, that is a face. An edge, that is a line segment where two faces meet. So for example, this right here, that is an edge. And a vertex is a point where two or more edges meet. So this right here would be a vertex. So we're going to classify these, and we're not going to just call them prism or pyramid. We're going to give them a special name, and that name comes from the base. So in number 1, let's find the base. They're pretty easy to pick out in the pyramids. It's really only the prisms that are too horribly difficult. So because the base is a rectangle, this is a rectangular pyramid. And it's a pyramid because it comes up to a point. And we're going to determine the number of faces, edges, and vertices on all of these. So faces, This one has 5 faces. It has the bottom, and then each of the 4 sides of, that come up to the point. Edges, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 edges. And vertices, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Number 2, this one is just a cone. It's not a circular cone because all cones are circular. The cones, cylinders, and spheres are a little tricky. With a cone, we always say that it has 2 faces. So the bottom is a face, and then the actual cone part is another face. We say it only has 1 edge, that would be right here, and 1 vertex. Number 3. This one is a prism. We don't all go up to 1 point. And here are my identical parallel bases. And since they're triangles, that means it's a triangular prism. See if you can label faces, edges, and vertices. It has 5 faces, 9 edges, and 6 vertices. All right, number 4. This is a pyramid because it all goes up to that 1 point. And so my base is here at the bottom. So the base, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 6 sides, so it's a hexagonal pyramid. It has 7 faces, 12 edges, and 7 vertices. Number 5, this is a cylinder. Oops. It has 3 faces, 2 edges, and 0 vertices. I want you to continue working on these and see if you can come up with the answers, naming and the number of faces, edges, and vertices. And I'm going to go through them fairly quickly. So pause the video, see if you can do it, and then go in and check your answers. All right, number 6, this is a rectangular prism, and because it really has 3 sets of bases. These we don't really label the bases just because the front and the back, they're parallel and identical. Top and the bottom, the left and the right side, they're all parallel and identical. But we still call it a rectangular prism. Well, it has 6 faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices. Number 7, this one was a little tricky. Your bases are not the top and the bottom. No, those are not the same size. Your bases are these trapezoids. So it is a trapezoidal prism. In all of the prisms except for the rectangular, if you see a face that's not a rectangle, that's probably going to be your base. Because if I look, all of my other sides, those are all rectangles except for the trapezoids. It has 6 faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices. Number 8. That's a pyramid, and my base is a square because all 4 sides are the same. So it's a square pyramid. With 5 faces, 8 edges, and 5 vertices. Number 9, this is a prism, and the bases are both pentagons. So it is a pentagonal prism. It has 7 faces, 15 edges, and 10 vertices. Number 10, this is a pyramid, and my base is down here. This would be a triangular pyramid. It has 4 faces, 6 edges, and 4 vertices. Number 11, this is a prism, and my bases are these triangles. They're identical, they're parallel, so it is a triangular prism. It has 5 faces, 9 edges, and 6 vertices. And number 12 is a sphere. This was a tricky one. We say it has 1 face, but 0 edges and 0 vertices. If you have any questions, please ask. Otherwise,